6 o'clock. It says 2:59 and then. Okay. You know I'm going to do this every time. I do, and it's set to the atomic clock. That's where they come from. Anyway, so it's 30 seconds left. You can go on. Okay. And I'll wait until it says 3 o'clock before I gavel. Okay, we'll call the special magistrate hearing to order. What's today? June 24th. Good afternoon, folks. And to those who are watching online, to you as well. All right. Staff roll call, please.
Holly New for the city.
Hi, Holly.
Sean Gifford, Code Enforcement.
Michelle Ficacello, Clerk to the Magistrate.
Thank you. All right, our minutes of our last meeting of, what was the date? May 27th. Additions, corrections, deletions.
None from the city.
Okay, we'll consider those accepted as submitted. Any additions, changes, deletions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. On that note, we'll move to our parking citation appeals. Is Sue Ellen Capstick here? Sue Ellen Capstick? Is that you? No. James Coker? That's you, sir. Okay. If you would, please step to the microphone. Podium. Oh, stand by. Stand by. There's a process. Hang on. All right. Bear with me a second, sir. All right. We are here on this instance of matter number P02675FB, James Coker. And Mr. Coker, if you would state your full name and residence address for the record.
No, I know. I'm just checking something, but go ahead.
James Walter Coker, 92 Cimarron Drive, Palm Coast, Florida.
All right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You are here on an appeal of a citation issued on April 19th of this year at about 3:58 p.m. where a gray Ford F-150 was cited for parking on the sidewalk on South 8th Street near South Daytona Avenue. That's about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you want to tell me about that?
I wanted you to look at these photographs.
I have photographs.
These are different
photographs. Oh, I do have that. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I have the photographs that were submitted when you submitted your appeal. Let me. I also have a photograph. I don't know if you have the benefit of it. Submitted by the police officer, showing your vehicle clearly parked on the sidewalk.
That's me. Yes, sir.
Okay. So right from the outset, this is a violation.
Okay.
And let me give you a little policy, and then I'll be happy to hear what you have to say. It's all about safety. And the issue is this. Have you ever been on crutches?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a wheelchair?
No.
Have you ever pushed a child in a stroller?
Yes.
Where do you think they have to go where you're parked?
Sidewalk.
They're supposed to be able to use the sidewalk, but it's totally obstructed by your vehicle. And that means they either have to find another way to get to where they are trying to go, or in the alternative, they have to go in the street. Is that a safe practice?
No.
That's what we're talking about. Now, what do you want to tell me?
We didn't do this intentionally. We did not see a no parking sign.
There is no parking signs are not required by Florida law. It is a matter of law that you cannot park on the sidewalk.
We did not know that.
Okay, well, I'm happy to educate you because guess what? I have something in mind that will be beneficial for everybody. All right. Tell me more about why you were there.
I mean, we were there because the parking lot next to the Anchor was full, and we would have easily pulled around to the Osprey parking lot where we usually park because it was empty. We did not know, we didn't see a sign, and we did not know we were violating the law.
Where are you from originally, sir?
Savannah, Georgia.
Guess what? You can't park on the sidewalk in Georgia either. And I'm not trying to be smart. What I'm trying to do is instill in you the reasoning behind.
We made a serious mistake.
I don't think it's serious, but it, you know, if you were in a wheelchair, guess what? It's a problem, you know, and I'm here to speak on behalf of those people that might have been affected adversely. But again, I'm going to work with you here.
We prefer to pay the fine. We made a serious mistake, so I'd like to pay the fine, but I'd like for you to understand that we didn't understand what we were doing.
And I believe you.
And we're just too dumb to figure it out.
No, you're not dumb at all.
Oh, we are.
No, sir. Listen, parking in Flagler Beach is a challenge for everybody. There are times I've parked down at the police station to come here to sit. And it's, you know, in this heat, that's not a fun trudge. But, you know, recognizing that you did not understand that you could not do that because you didn't see signage, which is not required. Otherwise, we'd live behind a wall of signs for all kinds of things. You know, that's just impracticable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the fine by 50% if you're willing to do something in addition. And here's what it is. You can have a choice of going on the beach and spending 3 hours on a Saturday, which is once a month, and have time to accomplish that and help do a beach cleanup with one of the city commissioners who manages that program. Or you can take the time to speak with 20 licensed drivers about your experience parking on the sidewalk and why they shouldn't do it, and explain to them as an educator the reasoning. It's so that people aren't forced to do something unsafe to negotiate around a vehicle that's improperly parked. And you'd have 30 days to accomplish that. It can be friends, family, neighbors, I don't care who it is, as long as they're drivers. There's a form that you would fill out to accomplish this. And then you have to submit it back to Michelle. And I hope you choose that because you're doing everybody a favor. They'll avoid a ticket, perhaps whether it's here or who knows where. And you'll learn more by virtue of taking that step. How does that sound?
We made a serious mistake. I apologize. We did not do it intentionally.
I believe you.
And I'm willing to pay the fine plus court costs.
Okay.
So let me do that. Can I pay you?
Well,
What do I want to pay?
To the finance office. That can't be done right now, or can it?
Right now, if you give me a couple minutes, and then you can walk around to the back and pay it.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do, but we have to get the orders, so just give us a couple minutes.
Okay. And then pay it? Okay. And I can pay it plus court costs.
Yes, sir. So
I'll pay it in cash. I apologize.
And I accept your apology. I wish you
It won't happen again. I'm very sorry.
I'm sure it won't. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take the step to have those conversations notwithstanding. Are you willing to do that? Because you're doing a lot of folks a favor.
I made a mistake, and whatever the fine is, I want to add court cost and whatever you want to do to increase the fine. Let me pay, I'll pay $200.
Oh, I don't want you to do
I'll
that.
do whatever it takes.
No, I don't want you to
But
do
I made a mistake, and I want to make it right.
And you know something? I admire character.
And I apologize.
That's character.
I apologize.
And it's contrition. And that means something. So I'm going to make it $50 plus the mailing costs.
Okay, I'm very sorry.
And you're going to be exempted from having to do any community service. But I wish you would, take the initiative and just over dinner or over the fence with your neighbor or in church or wherever it might be, have a chat and help somebody else avoid this experience as well. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
I'm very sorry.
It is much appreciated. Contrition goes a long way.
Okay.
We'll get you in order here momentarily.
I'll go wait to pay.
No, you need to take the order with you, so bear with us. You, sir, are.
Leonardo?
All right, we'll get to you momentarily. Okay. Thank you. I'll add, I don't, Mr. Coger, I'll add, you don't have to get up. I'll add, I don't want this to be an unpleasant experience for you. None of us know all the rules. And so, unfortunately, it's costing you a few dollars, but it's a learning opportunity. And again, I am grateful for your contrition. That says a lot. That reflects character. Thank you, sir. Yes. Oh, please do.
Oh, wait, there. Oh, you added the number, you didn't write it.
So you need me to take that back there, Michelle?
What's that?
You need to take that back?
It's all, I'm going to give it to you with all the stuff. Thank you, folks. Have a good day. Okay, so Sue Ellen Capstick she has not appeared as yet, so we'll leave her an opportunity to show. So we'll move on to case number P02696FB, and that's Leonardo Pagliarci. Pagliacci. All right. If you would, sir, please come to the podium. And if you would, Michelle.
I do.
Bear with me a second. If you would, state your full name and residence address for the record.
Leonardo Pagliarici. My address is 16 Blackburn Place, Palm Coast, Florida, 32137.
Okay. You, sir, were cited for parking violation on May 3rd of this year at 11:55 a.m., where you were cited for parking in the street on North 10th Street, just west of Ocean Shore Boulevard. Does that sound about right?
Correct.
Okay. From the get-go, I'm going to show you a picture. Is that familiar?
Yes.
Is
that's
that
my
your
Toyota
vehicle?
Avila. Correct.
And does that look like how you were parked?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to tell me?
Well, with this parking, I have been doing work on that corner property.
Okay.
And I sometimes, in previous attempts, I have parked in front of the street where the Catholic church is. I have even parked on the Catholic church's parking lot and walked over to the house where my car was parked at. And you don't see it on the picture, but before the picture was taken, there was an RV on the driveway. So I pulled up, and where I pulled up, I wasn't blocking any traffic. I wasn't.
But you were in the street.
Yes, I was in the street, Your Honor, but I was not aware that you couldn't do that.
Okay. When your vehicle is parked in that manner, and there's two vehicles coming from opposite directions on that street, what do you think has to happen?
Well, the person that's behind my vehicle would have to wait till there's a free space to go on the opposite direction and drive around me.
Is that safe?
It's not safe, but I have done it many times.
That's the important thing. It's not safe. And what if it's a fire truck or an ambulance?
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that because that was going to be my next point. I was not blocking any fire extinguisher. I was not blocking any mailbox. That's why I didn't think that was going to be a problem. So I parked it there with the intention of doing the necessary work that I had to do, some irrigation repair, then head out.
Well, unfortunately, it is a violation, and it is something that can't be overlooked because it's hazardous as well as unlawful. And I acknowledge there are challenges for parking in Flagler Beach. Lots of challenges. It's a problem for everybody. If you heard what I just said on the last matter, I've come here to do what I'm doing right now. I've had to park at times down at the police station, okay, several blocks away. I can't overlook that this was inappropriate. And what's concerning me is that you don't seem to grasp that it's not something that you should do. If you have done it before and weren't cited, you got away with one. You got lucky. But this time, you didn't. And in the absence of your acknowledging and recognizing that it's something that shouldn't be doing, you know, I don't look on that favorably. So, you know, where are we in the grand scheme of things as far as our attitude and understanding about not parking in the roadway?
Correct, sir. Thank you for your explanation. I am very aware of all that you just explained.
But you haven't given me a valid explanation as to why you parked in the street. You did it because it was more convenient for what you wanted to do in this job you had, correct?
Correct. It was convenient, but it was also applicable to my work because I had tools in my car.
I
And
understand.
instead of walking across the street or walking all the way to the parking lot of the Catholic Church, I
Yeah.
wanted to keep the tools and the irrigation heads that I had to replace, which they're not that big. I could have just thrown them on the grass and driven to an appropriate location, but I was like, this isn't going to take me long, so I just did the job.
It's all well and good, but it still doesn't excuse what you did. And it, from what I see, there is a driveway or a spot in front of your vehicle that looks to be wide open. Was there nowhere for you to pull in to drop off your tools and then go park properly?
Yes, there was.
Well, then why didn't you do that?
The reason why I didn't do that is because I wanted to keep my car close to me because not just the irrigation heads, but then some tools, like I carry a little toolbox that looks like a bait box that has just the essential tools that I need to repair an irrigation system. And I was just doing this, Your Honor, for a lady from church. I go to Salty Church, and that corner where my car was parked, I was just texting the lady. Her name is
So
Linda.
you were doing this as a favor to her,
Yes,
just as a volunteer?
correct.
Okay.
Because I have experience on landscaping and irrigation,
Yeah.
and the times when I knew that it was going to take a long time, I parked across the street where the church is, where I had to do a lot of trimming, I had to pull a lot of weeds, I had to do some, the bed liner, I had to remove the bed liner and have some rocks, and I knew I was going to take some time, so I parked in a place where it wasn't going to be obstructed to traffic.
Yeah, at least you didn't think it was, correct? If you thought it was going to obstruct traffic, would you have parked there?
No.
Okay. But in reality, it was an obstruction because it was in the roadway. But I don't want to, it's not a point to be argued. It just needs to be stated for the record. But what do you do as a regular job?
Right now I'm working in McDonald's, the one by Target. But Your Honor, Mr. Poop, right?
Yes.
Mr. Pop. I've lived here for 26 years
Okay.
in Palm Coast,
Yeah.
and I have a landscaping and irrigation experience, which I've drilled wells with my dad.
Okay.
I worked for Austin Outdoors. I worked for Vertigo. I have much experience on landscaping. You can see it on my skin color that I receive a lot of sun on my skin, and which enables me to get a nice color on my skin.
Okay. But your regular employment is working at a McDonald's?
Correct. At this moment, yes.
What do you do at McDonald's?
I do in the kitchen. I do fried products. I do the grill. I do like backup whatever they need to go fill their fry hopper, the pies when they need to be dropped in the oven, then put them in the box, put the sticker with the date and time on it.
Let me ask you this. By virtue of what you intended to do while you were there, helping this lady from church, correct?
Correct.
A question for you. Will you ever park in the road again?
No.
Thank you. Good answer. Are you agreeable to a reduction?
Yes, sir.
Education or beach?
Education, probably,
Okay.
is where I'm leaning, but I'll defer to you.
All right. If you go to Salty Church, do you go to the sunrise service on the beach?
No, the sunrise service is in the Ormond campus. I go to the Flyer campus.
Oh, you go to Flight.
I've been to the Ormond campus, but not the sunrise service.
They don't have a sunrise service here.
I don't think they do.
All right. Because I was going to give you, you heard what I said for the previous gentleman about beach cleanup or doing education. I'm going to give you the choice because I'm going to have you do that plus a reduced fine.
Okay, so the education, I don't understand what I want to do with education.
Well, what it would mean is you have the opportunity to talk to drivers, licensed drivers, 20 of them, over the course of the next 2 months, 60 days to do this, and explain to them that you received a parking ticket for parking in the street, which you now understand you cannot do. And the reasons behind it are that it's an obstruction to traffic, it creates a safety hazard, it could block an emergency vehicle on an important mission, but it also presents a situation where vehicles to get around your car have to go head on against the oncoming traffic and drive in the opposite lane, which is technically illegal. for them. So you can do that, or you can spend 3 hours on a Saturday doing beach cleanup.
I'll do the education. I mean, I'm not really 100% sure what I have to do. Do I have to stand in front of a crowd?
So you just have a conversation like we're talking right now. It can be with family, friends, neighbors, people at church, wherever you have that opportunity. And you'll have 60 days to do that, so it's not like it's a rush. It's just when you have an opportunity to have a conversation, you do so. And they just have to be a driver, and you're going to fill out their name, and when you spoke to them, and then you turn it in, and it is under oath, it's a sworn statement, but you return it to Michelle, and that would be the enhancement in addition to a reduction in the fine plus the court costs. So I'm doing this because you're in an employment where you're not making a lot of money. I understand that. And so every dollar is a big deal to you. I realize that.
Correct, sir.
Okay? But, you know, instead of you having to pay $100 plus court costs, it'll be $50 plus court costs and this educational chore. Are we good with that?
Sure.
Okay. But the most important thing is, please don't do it again. I understand it was an inconvenience because of what you were trying to accomplish. And that is a factor in why I'm doing this, because you are donating your labor to somebody that needed it. And that means something to me. That says a lot about who you are. And I don't believe that you would have done this if you had known you shouldn't do it. Okay?
Correct. I only did that once, and I will never do it again.
And that's a good answer, too. So,
I was just for clarity, the original citation amount was for $60.
oh, okay, well, it's $30. I'm sorry. You know what? I wasn't paying attention to the amount, just thinking. So there you go. There are $20 to the better.
Thank you.
Okay? Yes, plus the mailing costs. So it's not a wipeout of the fine, but it's a reduction.
And it was the education that was chosen?
60 days. 20.
20.
You know, to me, the more important part of this is you being an educator. For one, it will reinforce to you this as a learning experience, but you'll also be doing all those people you speak with a favor in educating them that it is not allowed to park in the road. It's illegal. Now, if your car was broken down and you were unable to push it or move it out of the roadway, that would be a valid reason. But that's not the case here, okay?
Okay.
But even then, if somebody's car breaks down, it needs to be moved as quickly as is reasonably possible because it's a hazard. And that's really why it's not a practice that's allowed. It's hazardous.
Yes, or I could just tell the people at their houses, the driveway is not free for me to park. I'll come some other time.
And that's a good way to approach this. If it's not available, I'll do it for you another day. There you go. All right. There you go. Thank you.
Form that you need to complete. And then you have everybody sign it and print their name all the way up to 20. And when you're done, sign this and then submit it back to me.
And how long I have to? She said a month.
Here's the order. So you have 30 days to pay the fine, and then you have 60 days to submit this.
Okay.
Okay? And if you have any.
That should be plenty of time.
This is my card, all right?
Yes, thank you.
You can bring that back to them to pay, and then you bring that back to me, okay?
Okay.
And then, like I said, if you have questions, I'll.
Okay, and this is your number? Okay. I'll reach out to you. Thank you.
All right, sir, thank you. Good luck to you. You're welcome to. Have a good day. All righty. I'm going to jump back to case number P02746FB, Sue Ellen Capstick, and is still not here. We'll hold that for a few moments. And I guess our next one is telephonic appearance.
So, sir, there's a representative here.
Oh, okay. Is this for Mr. Edwards?
No, 8A? Yeah, Sandy Ridge Investments.
Oh, okay, well, I don't want to hold you up. We'll jump over to that. I'm sorry if I'd known. Please, if you would, step to the podium. John, are you prepared?
Yes.
Just hang on, okay. All right, so what we're going to do is jump up to item 8A, and that is case number EEN 260028, Sandy Ridge Investment LLC, Inc., property 2261 South Flagler Avenue, and
I don't know if John was planning on speaking first at the podium. I can.
Well, there's not really much to say other than, they needed a permit, they got their permit.
Do I have to spank you? Hold your horses a minute. All right. I don't need to repeat what case we're on, but if you would, please be so kind as to identify yourself and your business or residence address.
Yes. Alana Smith with Copco Law Firm, 1 Daytona Boulevard, and we represent the property owner.
Okay, so, hello, counsel.
Hi, how are you?
All right, John, before you run off.
I'm just going back over here where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. A happy moment here. All right. Why are we on this now? Refresh my recollection.
There was a significant amount of work done without a permit.
That starts to bring it back to mind, and if I recall, I issued an order that said, all right, let's give them time to fix it.
Yes, sir.
And the question of the day is, did they fix it?
No, but they're still working on it. They have the permits. I think they had a trouble with a contractor that was interested in working for them, and he pulled out on them. I'm not sure if they had any other contractor issues.
Oh boy, that is the main of, that's outside one's grasp of solution. Yeah, okay. And anything else from you?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, hi.
Hi.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, not a problem. And I can add to that a bit. So yeah, there has been a long history of going back and forth with various contractors. And since the last hearing, the owner had to transition to a new contractor just due to financial reasons. They had hired a contractor, they had pulled a permit and then gave them a quote for sort of the corrective work, and they realized it was kind of well beyond what they can afford. So they went out, got more quotes. They have since hired a new contractor. That contractor has pulled the permits, they've started the corrective work, they passed the insulation inspection and the rough inspections for plumbing and electrical this week.
There's progress.
Yes, and then I spoke with the contractor this week, and they said they should be able to finish everything up within the next 2 to 3 weeks, is what they're anticipating, but I know that's obviously contingent on when we can get those inspections done and whatnot. So we would like to request an additional 30 days.
I don't have a problem. In fact, I'm thinking it might be, give you 45 days. That means if there's any reason that this has to be heard again, other than a status report from staff that it's been resolved or we still have issues. If there's issues, either you or your client would need to be here to explain why, but otherwise I think we could give you a little bit of other additional breathing space so that you're not super compressed. Now, a quick question. Do you know the value of all the work that's having to be done in terms of cost?
I do not know. I can check back with the contractor and follow up with John.
No idea.
I know that the estimate they received from the former contractor, I think they had already paid about $10,000 to do some of the initial inspections and everything, and then after that, it was another, I want to say 25K, which
It's
is,
a substantial.
yeah, it's a substantial amount of money, but I just know that.
This is a residence?
Yes, it was a residence. The owner had purchased it. They did some interior reno. I think they were looking to kind of flip it and resell it. I spoke with the owner. They said they didn't realize there was a permit. They understand. They said, I messed up. I know I got it corrected. It's just I'm trying to make it work with the money I do have.
Well, are you comfortable with 45 days?
Yes, I'm comfortable with 45. And again, we'll check back with John if anything changes. But according to the contractor, that'll be a substantial amount of time. So we are good with that.
And here's my suggestion and request, in fact. If, in fact, there is any hold-up, hang-up, reason for needing additional time, let's not wait till the 45 days runs out. Let's let the building and code enforcement know, just collaborate with them, and then it's not a big deal. We'll, the goal here is to get the work done, not to beat people over the head.
Understood? Yes.
And, anything else, John?
Yes, sir, we were,
So if we stick with the 45 days, that from today, that would put us at August 8th, which then that we wouldn't be able to, if it doesn't get done, they would not be able to come back until the September hearing.
Oh, because
of the
is there
notice.
not enough time?
The notice requirements. I just wanted to put it in your mind that
I was thinking we had enough time on the 45 before the August
we
hearing.
would not to notice them. Anyway.
Okay, so what would work from the standpoint of timing? It's a moot point if the work gets completed.
Right. I mean, I think pushing it to the September hearing might.
Is that acceptable? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think that
As
would
a
be
status report?
I do, yes.
All right, but the completion should be accomplished within the
45 days.
Yeah, okay. So, you good with that, Counselor?
Yes, so just to be clear, I just want to make sure I understand. So 45 days for anticipated compliance and then September hearing.
If, in fact, there's...
Yes, if we need another progress report.
Well, let's hope that's not the case. And if
Agreed.
it's done, you don't need to appear, your clients don't need to appear. I'll just get a report from staff that it's been taken care of and that'll conclude it.
All right, understood, thank
There
you.
might be, are there any costs that are associated with those that do need to be paid?
I believe so. I believe
I
it
believe there is some.
Yeah, the tally I have is, $48 in mailing costs.
All right, so that would need to be taken care of, and that should be done within the next, 15 days? 30 days, whatever.
We'll do 30 just to keep it consistent with.
Yeah, because by the time I get the order and do the invoice and mail it, that's fair.
Okay, 30 days on that.
Okay, thank you. I'll let them know.
And just, you'll get the written order, but the 45 days does put us at August 8th.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thanks for concluding or computing what the timing was.
correct.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, this is a similar order to the one from March, which would be if it is taken care of, there would be no need. If it's not taken care of,
Then
we're
there would
directed to
be.
notice them.
Yeah, please understand, if it's not fixed, there will be, and it's gonna get expensive.
Yeah, absolutely understood.
Because if your folks are being compliant, where they're not, I'll relate it back to the date of, your initial notification, and we go from there, and that means it's a big number.
Yep,
So, okay.
all right, understood. Thank
All right.
you.
Are we clear on what the order needs to reflect?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's not.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks
good
for
one.
being here. Let me go ahead and clear in case John and I need to go. Let me hear. I'm going to jump out of order again, but let me hear EN 260178, Audrey Rutowski Westbrook and Michael Westbrook, joint tenants, right of survivorship 2228 South Central. You're still under oath.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about one of these parking lots, 2228.
Yeah, what's the status?
It's, they were served with a courtesy notice. Gary did that by hand. They were served with a notice of violation, served by hand. I took Glenn Dunn, one of the building inspectors there, let them know what needed to be done. Talked to the husband and wife on the scene looking at it. We didn't get any response from them. Then Gary handed them a notice of the hearing. These are the photos that you've already seen, but it just might help bring you up to speed a little bit. This is the big thing right now.
Has there been any work done?
There was a little bit. They had some bricks. You can see those bricks in that picture. They have taken care of what was out there. The big thing is that railing on that, went the wrong way maybe.
It's in disarray as a minimum.
Yes, sir. No handrails. The roof's in bad shape.
That's unsightly. It's potentially hazardous.
Yes, sir.
Vermin.
Yes, sir.
Rodents. Is anyone living in the property?
Yes, sir. We don't really know what the inside looks like. They're very friendly, very cooperative.
Are they the owners living in it or no?
Yes.
The owners are living there.
Yes, sir. There could be, I don't want to overstep, there could be some family dynamics that are causing an issue here.
Do you know whether any reason why they're not here today to answer?
No, sir.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to issue an order, $250 a day. It's going to relate back to, this was heard previously, was it not?
Yes, sir. This is a status update here.
Yeah.
Wait,
No, sir, this is a brand new.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah, this is a brand new.
I was like,
We
Yeah,
took that
no, this
order.
is a brand new
This is a
case.
brand new case.
Well, you know, the fact that one, they have not appeared, two, they've had, when did this start as far as the notification to them about?
The courtesy notice was April 10th.
So we're 2.5 months since they were first notified, and there's been very little done.
Very little.
And I'm going to start the fine today. And you know, whether the fine gets abated or not is whether they start getting things done. And we're going to bring them back next month.
to impose it? You would bring them back?
I want a status update on whether they are making any further efforts.
Okay.
Because if they get the message to get work done, then I'll consider what I'll do about
Imposing the fines?
Yeah.
So you don't want them noticed for an imposition of fines for next?
No, they have to be legally.
Right, no, so that's what you want, is a notice of imposition of fines for next hearing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, apparently they're not getting the message. So what is it? Make sure that we're on the same, what am I asking?
So what compliance date do they have before the fines would start? I mean, they would date back. Well, they would actually date to the compliance date.
Yeah. John, how much time do you need for them to have gotten their act in gear?
I'm going to tell you, it's really hard to say just because of what I observed with the family dynamics. There just could be something there that's...
Explain what you've observed so I understand the problem.
I think the husband's out of work. I think he was injured. I think he has some kind of disability.
Oh, boy.
That we don't really know about.
And if we're out of work and we're disabled, then we have limited capability to accomplish things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to know this. This affects how I want to approach this. All right. Let me redo a bit. My order today is going to be if, in fact, do they need permits for what they need to do?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure they will need for handrail.
Have they applied for any permits to your knowledge?
No.
Okay. They have 15 days within which to apply for permits to do the work, contractor. and they need to appear here next month, failing which either of these instances, a $250 per day fine will be imposed relating back to today.
It would, under the statutes,
Yeah.
it would need to relate back to
Well,
the 15 days.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it gets a
You're
little,
right. You're
it gets a little with the courtesy note, and yeah, it gets a little jumbled.
Okay. But, you know, are you going to hand deliver this to them?
Yes, sir.
Have a conversation with them and explain, one, their failure to appear does not work in their best interest. You know, I will take into account their collateral circumstances or situation if they are prepared to testify to it, so that I have that to work with. Right now, it's just your impression of what's going on as opposed to facts from them. And I'll work with them if they have extenuating circumstances that inhibit their ability to accomplish this on a hurried basis. Okay? But I need to see something being done.
Yes, sir.
From the building department standpoint, is this something you can work with these people if they have an issue? And you know what, I need you to be sworn and state your name for the record.
I do.
And keep, you know, just so you understand, my objective here is to get things taken care of, not to beat people over the head. But if they're not able, that's one thing. If they're just not willing, that's something different. And so it sounds to me like this is a capability issue as opposed to a don't want to.
Yeah,
What age are these people, John? Older?
50s.
So they're older. Okay.
So I think it would be great I would go out with John and meet with the individuals,
Okay.
and then we can go ahead and direct exactly what they need to do on premise and what would satisfy the case.
That'd be great.
And I'd be more than happy to do that, and we'll get that done and guide them in the right direction.
Well, and you know, the building permits is an incentive to get things moving, but I'm going to leave it to your discretion if when you make a determination about capability or et cetera. Well, and when they come in, I can adjust things if it's necessary. But at this point, I want to shove things in the direction they need to go.
I agree. Yeah, then we can, when we meet, you know, I'm all about giving people a chance and just about bringing it into compliance. That's the main thing.
The goal here is everybody lives under the same rules and does things the same way, and it's not about beating people over the head and getting into their bank account.
Yes, sir.
That's only the last resort. So,
I agree.
Okay. All right. So are we good on this?
Well, so just to clarify, so 15 days from today's date would be July 9th. Again, if you want to include in the order that they come regardless of,
I do.
if that's okay. So they would be coming for the July hearing.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, it's to give them an opportunity to put on the record why they've had issues.
Okay.
And because otherwise, I don't have anything available as a resource other to solve the problem other than impose a fine.
Right.
Which, if there's valid reason to not do so, I don't want to do it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So it's just a status, and then depending on compliance, if they come in next month and they've made all the correct moves and all that kind of stuff, then
we're headed the right way.
okay.
That's the objective here.
Okay.
But their failure to appear makes life difficult.
Right.
And so that presents issues that I can't overcome.
So the notice for July will be a status hearing.
It's essentially a status hearing, yeah. Now, just by the way, I'm going to be going on the road for a couple of weeks, early next week, so will you be able to generate some paper for me by Friday, perhaps?
Yes, sir.
Not a problem?
Nope. No, sir.
Monday at the latest, but
Friday will be fine.
yeah,
Fine.
because I've got to stop to turn it around to get it
Sure,
back to
yeah.
the show. Okay, all right. All right. Anything other on this, John? Anything else from you? Anything in the works while I have you? Because I'm gonna,
It's, I think we got a pretty good handle on things. Things are going pretty well. People are tending to comply mostly.
okay, so you don't have anything that's forthcoming as a code matter?
I think we do have a couple of July cases.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying, because if you want to go, we've covered your stuff.
Oh, good.
You're gonna hang around, okay, all right. All right, that puts us, all right, I'm gonna give Sue Ellen to the very last moment, but she's pushing her luck.
No, please don't. Fine, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, this gentleman,
Well, let me call it up first.
okay.
Yeah, and then I'll let you explain what we're dealing with. All right, this is back on the parking citation appeals. This is item 6D, P02615FB, Christopher Edwards, who wanted to appear by telephone, but apparently is not available.
Yes. So, I thought maybe this would happen. He is a doctor. He's a cardiologist up in St. Augustine. That's why he wasn't able to be here in person.
Okay.
And I figured potentially even the telephonic might be an issue for him. I can try calling him again, but
Let's do this. Let's roll it over to next month.
okay.
He's asked for an appeal. I don't want to deny him it if, in light of the nature of his professional responsibilities as a cardiologist.
Sure.
I'm going to assume he would be here or would be available if he was able to be. And, he may be in surgery or who knows what.
Right, and I did make it clear to him that I couldn't tell him exactly when I would call him, and
Right.
that just to be ready by 3, but I'm assuming if he's not answering that he had to go save somebody's life.
Yeah. And so is it a problem to just reschedule?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, I can try him one more time if you want me to.
Well, we'll do that in a moment. We'll give it one more shot, but, all right, I'm going to go back to, P02746FB Sue Ellen Capstick, who's been given almost an hour to appear, has not appeared, and this involves a citation issued for a
Parking on sidewalk, I believe.
parking on the sidewalk. It was issued on May 26th at 11:11 a.m. involving a Mazda automobile, and that was on South 4th Street by South Central. And I have an affidavit from the citing officer and a photograph that clearly shows the vehicle parked on the sidewalk. It does have a disabled veteran tag. So, I don't know if that was a factor. If it's a disabled veteran, they would be entitled to park in handicap, but I don't know the situation. Do we have a phone number for this individual by chance?
I spoke to her several times. She was notified several times. I do have proof of service, so she knows very well what date, time, and location to be present.
In her case, the fine is $100 plus the court costs, and that's what it's gonna be.
Okay.
You know, and she doesn't like that, she can appeal that. So,
Payment is 30 days.
30 days.
And I would ask, when these situations occur, there's another $9.60 that the city incurs because of the mailing, because they're not hand delivering it.
Then we will add that to it, so that'll be 18 or 19.20.
I'm going to trust your math there.
I think
What is, it's 9 and 9,
let me
right?
get out my trusty calculator.
9,
That sounds right. Yeah.
I think it's 1920, but let me just double check.
I think I can still add.
It's 1920, yeah.
No kidding.
Good job.
All right. Do you want to give Dr. Edwards another holler? We'll give him a shot, but if he doesn't respond, I am going to forbear on that one.
Hi, Michelle. So are you ready? Oh, it won't take long. I'm just gonna put you on speakerphone and then I'm gonna bring you in. So hang on 1 second.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the testimony you're about to give?
Yes,
Thank you.
I do.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Special Magistrate Gregory Pop. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm glad we tried you again because we called earlier and were unable to reach you, so this has worked out.
So happy. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. You're a cardiologist, I understand?
Yes, yes. I practice in Palm Coast in St. Augustine.
You probably work with David Gay?
No, I'm with Dr. Greg, Dr. Caracciolo. We're mainly in St. Augustine, but we do have a very busy office on Clubhouse Drive.
Okay, well, I thought you might know. He's an orthopedic surgeon. I didn't know if you knew David. He's a good friend.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. Well, we're here on matter number P02615FB, which is a citation issued on April 11th at about 4:17 in the afternoon involving a Ford Super Duty pickup truck parking in the street, North 5th Street, near Central Avenue. And is that your vehicle, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're indicating in your submission for this appeal that, let me get to your paperwork, that you were looking for parking, which is always a challenge for everyone in Flagler Beach. It is a constant effort to find parking, but
Apparently there was a festival too.
yeah, that makes life really interesting. Just so you know, when I come to do my job here, it's not uncommon that I have to park down at the police station as the only available parking and walk the several blocks from there. So I'm aware of the challenge.
Yep.
What I want to inform you is that parking in the street is a prohibited matter by virtue of Florida law, not just Flagler city ordinance. And it's about safety because it's a hazardous practice. What happens is your vehicle becomes an obstruction that other vehicles transiting that roadway now have to negotiate, which means the ones who are coming up on your vehicle in that lane now have to drive in the opposite lane, which results in them committing 2 traffic violations to do so. One, improper lane usage; 2, driving on the wrong side of the road. If there's a first responder vehicle, fire truck, ambulance, police, that presents issues. That's why it's against the law to do it. And you know, the inconvenience of having to walk to find appropriate parking is a small offset against the safety hazards that go with improperly parking. That's
I agree. I have no problem walking.
Okay, well, that's the policy. And
Yeah.
I read what you had to say as far as, you know, posted signage is not required. It is a matter of state law, and it's not just Florida, it's across the country that parking in the road is not an acceptable practice. But
Real quick, can I just
yes, sir.
real quick?
Yes, sir.
I agree with everything you're saying. It's just, I've lived in St. Augustine for almost 10 years, and everyone parks on the road everywhere here, except in areas where there's yellow lines or signage. And I've never received a ticket ever. I've never seen anyone receive a ticket. So St. Augustine must not have the enforcement of that on their radar, or they just decided because it's an old city that has all these tourists, they're going to turn a blind eye. You know, I just don't know.
And I understand that I go to St. Augustine all the time, and where there is also a huge parking challenge, no less, if not worse. And so I grasp that. In fact, the former city attorney is a close friend of mine, very close friend.
Yeah.
And why they are not enforcing what is a state law, I don't have an answer. That's a matter of whether the city has just decided to look the other way, or they have more important things to deal with. I don't know, but I just know that the reasoning here is it's about safety, and
I totally understand.
And so contrition on this is important to me. A quick question to you on that topic is this something you're likely to do again, especially in Flagler Beach?
Never.
Okay, good answer. Excellent answer.
It's an educational exercise. I've never done this before.
And I'm not eager to make this something that's miserable for you. And you just touched on a very significant point, because when you say education, my goal in my job in this role is not really to club people over the head and extract a lot of money from them. It's much more important to me that you go away from this experience understanding the policy and the reasoning why things are not permitted. And I'll digress for a second, and that is to mention the other thing that I see all too often here is wrong way parking, where people park on the outside of the street. And that can result in at least 4 moving violations for those folks who do it, because they're committing moving violations in order to park as they do. But it's not a huge amount of money involved here. You're in St. Augustine. You have a nature of a practice that is important, because as a cardiologist, I'm sure you're dealing with folks that have serious medical problems. But I would like you to do something, and you have lots of opportunity, and that is to take education and be the teacher and explain to other drivers why they should not do this. And it would be part of my order that you speak to 20 drivers. They have to be licensed drivers. It can be over a 60-day period in which it can be your colleagues at work, it can be your family, your neighbors, friends, anybody, but it puts you in the role of helping them understand why what you did is something they should not do and why. In other words, going through the same explanations that I have just shared with you about the hazard, etc. And I'll take another moment and.
That is no problem. I can do that.
Okay, we'll make
I see about 30 people every day.
Well, I might run that number up to.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna have you with the Tartan Army. You know, are you aware of the Tartan Army? To digress a little bit. Okay, well.
Those guys look like they're having lots of fun. Maybe too much fun.
I've been to Scotland many times, and it is one of my favorite venues for that very reason, but not on the scale like this has been. Okay, so I'm going to make it 20 folks, spread over the time, but it's a matter of having a bona fide conversation with them. The form you will get will indicate who you spoke to and when you spoke to them, and then you can either mail it or drop it off back at the office here, and it is under oath, but that will be a big part of it. And I'm going to have the fine, which is not a big one to begin with, but $30 plus the court costs associated with the appeal, and I think is what, $960 again? And so, it's a little less money out of your pocket, but the important task here is the educational effort, because you might well do a lot of folks a big favor and maybe avoid a tragedy. You never know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. I appreciate your very positive response on this. That goes a long way.
Settle up the money I owe.
Can email that into finance?
Okay, I'll look out for the mail.
I'll send you an email with the order and the payment options.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I'm glad to accommodate you by phone. That's easy. And Holly, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Oh, bear with me 1 second, doctor.
Okay.
I think 30 days is adequate, yeah. So you're going to get an order, it's going to, the reduced fine and the cost will be due within 30 days, and then the educational effort will be a 60-day window to submit that, and then we'll be all set.
All righty. My request is the city put some signs up that says no street parking. That's very reasonable.
Yeah, I appreciate your desire that great. You know what? We would live in a world of signs for 8 million different things were that the result. But, I understand where you're coming from, but we had another matter involving the exact same issue just a little while ago. And, and the reality is that we'd be living in a blighted landscape of signs of every manner and form you can imagine.
Yeah. And we don't want to have, a million signs. We got one street back from the beach. There's literally like 20 cars parked all over the streets.
And I will say to you that most folks, when they are cited for improper parking, just pay the fine. And it's.
Oh, I know. No, this is this is just something I had to do. I'm like,
Oh, I appreciate that, and that's what I'm here for. It's and there have been instances where there's been matters dismissed because of the fact that they made a case that carried weight. But again, the other one that I heard was parking on a sidewalk today, and I'm going to share with you because you can capture this in your educational effort as well.
Oh yeah.
Besides
on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and imagine somebody pushing a baby in a stroller or in a wheelchair or on crutches and having to go in the road to get around the part that obstruction. Yeah. So all of that is what it's about. it's again, safety, safety, safety.
Common sense. Yeah, very good, sir. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to go over that with me.
You're more than welcome, and again, I appreciate your response and attitude about it. It's positive, and again, the important thing to me is the approach you take with the educational effort. You know, do it with a serious effort to educate those folks so they don't do it.
For sure.
All right.
All right. I got one last patient waiting for me.
All right, well,
Look out for emails. Thank you so much.
all right, you have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. There's that one. Turn that mic off. Okay. Before we conclude, how many parking appeals next month?
I think it's only going to be one.
Only one?
Yeah, I'll be doing notices this week, and so far, fingers crossed, I only have one.
Okay. And you have two? Three. Okay.
Yeah. So
Are they in involved matters?
two of them are going to be permission to foreclose.
Okay. So that's going to be pretty rapid. Is that the ones we're talking about on your three?
I think we had those two, but I think we have two other regular ones by first time.
Okay, so that will be full presentations. Okay, all right. It's always helpful if the respondents appear. You know, if you have the opportunity in your travels to stress that. I know.
No reason to be afraid. I'm going to work with you, but you need to show up.
Yeah, I need to hear from them. You know, you can't explain to me why they haven't or what they need. That's not your responsibility. They're just showing me what is wrong. So, okay, fair enough. So that looks like 4 there and 1 there. We don't have anything else coming back on the status, do we? I'm trying to think if there was possibly one.
Did we just? Yes.
We do.
Xander Holding, formerly known as Xander Holdings, but it's now called Palm Coast Holdings. Yeah, so they're coming back as a status hearing
Right.
because they have not complied
So they're going to get
by the date that was on the order.
Okay, all right, well, then they better have a good explanation.
Yeah, so I think that's,
I mean,
that's the only step.
that's been a fair amount of time.
Yes, sir.
That's long.
It's been a very fair amount of time.
Yeah, okay, all right. Anything from you, madam? Okay. All right, anything else before I adjourn? Other than I'm losing my current clerk? Okay. I know. No tears. All right. All set?
You might want to talk about mailings while you can.
Oh, I think we should.
Actually, that reminded me of something.
What is that?
Mailing costs are probably going to change
Increase.
July, yeah. So I'll probably have a new batch of numbers coming for you, just FYI.
How much is it going up, do you know? It's a fair amount, I think.
Is it?
I don't, they're struggling to fund it.
It's
so
enough to
get your attention.
push it up probably over $10, something like that. And then I do request for like people who don't show up for the parking citation appeals or telephonic appearances.
Yeah.
That's a courtesy that we offer, but it does incur another round of mailing costs. So that should be something that we keep in the back of our mind to when we do these situations that we just click on that extra fee to, in anticipation of that. Yes, correct.
When does interest kick in on these orders that are unpaid? Yeah. Legal interest. In other words, if there's a fine of $250, I know that it does apply once there's a order for foreclosure. Even just the fines, you know, the $250 a day. Let's say there's a $10,000 accumulation. Theoretically, there's interest on the initial 250, and then each day there's interest. You know, but I'm trying to remember. It seems to me that it only begins once there's a order for foreclosure, and then that spells out a specific amount to which interest attaches. I think that's when it comes to bear, but you know, in theory, there's a lot of money sitting on the table that's not collected because were that being charged interest, it would make a big difference in what that would ultimately be. But and the only reason I'm asking the question is because this one that's way past compliance is probably going to be in a position of a fine. And what then? That's all. It just triggered a question in my mind. I you know, I could chase it myself, but if it's convenient, it'd be nice to know. Yeah, it's, you know, when does interest apply? Drew probably could answer that in a heartbeat. Yeah, and I think my recollection is accurate, but I'm just confirm it. So.
And we did complete the research for the outstanding admin costs for code enforcement cases passed.
Yeah.
So that's in the works moving forward.
So are we going to actually have a number to attach?
I can actually tell you because I sent the email.
I mean, because, you know, your time is valuable and you spend a lot of time on this stuff.
And I know Drew had said he was still working on putting together that fee schedule because we're working on our fee schedule right now because of the upcoming budget. So I'm sure it's going to be kind of intermingled with all of that discussion.
Well,
the budget hearings are coming up.
You don't know what the number might be. It's an hourly not rate, or is it a flat rate?
Oh, so the fully loaded rate, I don't know that off the top of my head, but there's 8 cases
where there would be a position
that have outstanding, and they range from the lowest is $15.72 and the highest is $500.
Okay, and I'm trying to refresh my recollection. What are we seeking to do with those as far as?
These are people who've been ordered to pay fines, administrative fines,
right, and
they never remitted payment.
Okay, which is where there is a gap in the statute because it doesn't have for a lot of alternatives.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking I'm going to have to look at some guidance whether that means using the classification.
Yeah.
There is that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, because is there, you know, where the statute has deficiency, there's no way to lien a vehicle or lien a license or, you know, it's like in domestic relations, if there's non-payment of child support, guess what? Somebody's license gets suspended for non-payment, and then they can go to jail if they're driving. And you know, in this case, it's just what do you do? So something maybe we can figure out. But if there's additional costs associated with the non-payment, then that ought to be included. It would seem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else? You gonna stay out of trouble? I enjoyed meeting your new boss. So, on that note, 20, we're done.